You are awake at 3 a.m. or somewhere near it, the specific, dark, middle of the night hour that is too late to be the beginning of the night and too early to be the morning. The hour when the sleep that was present an hour ago has simply ended, not gradually, not with a clear reason, just ended, and you are lying in the dark, completely and unreasonably awake, with the specific quality of awareness that belongs to the 3 a.m. waking, which is different from the ordinary insomnia. The ordinary insomnia has a quality of fighting, the person lying in the dark at midnight, fighting the sleep that will not come, the mind running through the list, the frustration of the night not beginning properly. This is not that. This has the quality of interruption, of the sleep that was happening and is no longer happening, of the night that was working and has now, without apparent reason, stopped working, of lying in the same dark, in the same bed, on the same surface, but now with the full, wide awake, what time is it quality of the body that is no longer in the sleep and the thoughts. The 3 a.m. thoughts have a specific character. They are heavier than the ordinary anxious thoughts, more certain in their catastrophizing, more convinced that the things that feel terrible at 3 a.m. are genuinely, accurately terrible, that the financial worry is exactly as dire as it feels right now, that the relationship is exactly as fragile, that the problem at work is exactly as unresolvable, that the future is exactly as uncertain as the 3 a.m. mind is presenting it. This is not insight, this is cortisol. There is something specific happening in your body right now that is producing both the waking and the quality of the thoughts, something biological, something that is not evidence of how bad things actually are, but of what time it is and what your stress hormones are doing. Around 3 to 4 a.m., cortisol, the primary stress hormones, begins its natural rise. In the healthy, well-regulated nervous system, this rise is gradual and gentle, preparing the body slowly for the morning without disrupting the sleep. In the nervous system that has been under sustained stress, that has been running its cortisol at an elevated level through the preceding days and weeks, this natural rise becomes a spike, too steep, too early, steep enough to pull the nervous system from the sleep state into the full waking state. You are pulled from the sleep by cortisol, not by a real emergency, not by a genuine signal that something requires your attention right now, by a stress hormone running on its own timing, in your body, in the dark middle of the night. The thoughts that feel so heavy right now are cortisol thoughts. They feel real, they feel urgent. They feel like the truth about your life that the ordinary daytime consciousness is too distracted to face. They are not. They are the specific cortisol-amplified 3 a.m. colored quality of thoughts that the cortisol spike produces. The same problems, seen through the cortisol spike's amplifying lens at 3 a.m., look significantly worse than they look from the rested morning perspective. You are not awake because something is wrong. You are awake because the cortisol spiked. And the cortisol spike can be reset. The ocean is here, the waves arriving and releasing. The specific, rhythmic, has been doing this since long before the cortisol spike quality of the ocean at the shore. The wave-paced breath, the inhale following the wave's arrival, the exhale following the wave's departure, is the most direct available tool for suppressing the cortisol spike and returning the nervous system to the sleep state. Each wave-paced breath tells the nervous system, the cortisol rise was premature, the morning has not arrived yet, the sleep state is still available. Return, the deep sleep is still available tonight. You can return to it. The ocean will take you back. Let me tell you more about what happens at 3 a.m. Not to give you more to think about, to give you the accurate understanding of what has happened, so the 3 a.m. mind's interpretation of it can be gently corrected. The cortisol rhythm is circadian. Like most of the body's hormonal systems, cortisol follows a daily cycle tied to the light-dark cycle of the environment. Cortisol production is lowest around midnight to 1 a.m. From there, it begins a slow, proprietary rise, the body beginning, hours before the morning arrives, to prepare the systems for the demands of the coming day. This rise is normal. In the unstressed, well-recovered nervous system, the cortisol rise from 3 a.m. onward is smooth and gradual. It reaches its morning peak around 30 minutes after waking, the cortisol awakening response, and then follows its usual arc through the day. The nighttime rise does not disrupt the sleep because it is not steep enough to cross the threshold that would pull the nervous system from the sleep state. In the stressed, depleted, chronically elevated nervous system, the rise is different. The baseline cortisol has been elevated by the sustained stress. The HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, the system that regulates cortisol production, has been running at a higher set point. And when the natural 3 a.m. rise begins from this elevated baseline, it crosses the threshold more quickly. The cortisol reaches the waking activation level before the morning is ready. The sleep ends prematurely. This is the 3 a.m. cortisol spike, and it explains several things about the 3 a.m. waking that otherwise feel mysterious. It explains why you wake at approximately the same time on the nights when it happens. The circadian rhythm is consistent. The spike tends to occur in the same window. It explains why the waking feels so complete and immediate. The cortisol produces full activation, not partial arousal. It explains why the thoughts that arrive have their particular quality. Cortisol directly affects the brain's threat detection systems, amplifying the perception of risk and reducing the access to the perspective and problem solving that would moderate the catastrophizing. And it explains what to do. The cortisol spike is not permanent. It is a transient elevation in an already elevated baseline. If the nervous system can be guided back toward the parasympathetic state, if the cortisol suppression signals can be sent strongly enough to interrupt the spike's momentum, the cortisol will begin to decline from the spiked level, not back to zero, back to the pre-spike level, back to the level from which the return to sleep is possible. The wave-paced breath sends these signals most directly. The ocean's rhythm: inhale with the wave's arrival, exhale with the wave's departure, activates the vagus nerve, suppresses the HPA axis, and reduces the cortisol production. Each wave-paced breath is a direct signal to the cortisol system. Not yet. The morning has not arrived. The activation is premature. Stand down. Each wave is pulling the cortisol back down. Each wave is pulling the sleep back in. Let the ocean begin its work. Let me tell you why the ocean, specifically for the 3 a.m. waking. The 3 a.m. waking has a specific quality that makes the ocean particularly suited to the return. The person awake at 3 a.m. does not need to be calmed. The ordinary person who cannot fall asleep at the beginning of the night needs something to lower their activation level from waking to sleep. The 3 a.m. person is different. They were already asleep. The sleep state is not far away. The nervous system was in the sleep state 1 hour ago and knows exactly what it feels like. The return to sleep is not the same journey as the initial falling asleep. The 3 a.m. person needs to be guided back, not down from waking into sleep, back from the premature activation of the cortisol spike into the sleep state that was disrupted. The ocean guides the return through its rhythm. The wave-paced breath directly suppresses the cortisol spike. Each complete cycle, inhale with the wave, exhale with the wave, sends the HPA axis the signal that the premature rise can step back, that the activation level that crossed the waking threshold can descend below it, that the deep sleep stages that were available before the spike are available again. And the ocean's specific acoustic quality has an additional role. The 3 a.m. mind is running at a frequency that the cortisol spike produces. the elevated, threat-amplifying, catastrophizing quality of the cortisol-activated awareness. The ocean's rhythm is a consistent, predictable, non-threatening acoustic environment that the subcortical systems can monitor without the cortisol-amplified threat detection being activated. The 3 a.m. mind scanning for the threat that woke it finds the ocean. The ocean presents no threat. The ocean presents the most consistent, most predictable, most safe available acoustic environment. The amygdala that has been running the cortisol-activated threat scan receives, from the ocean's rhythm, the signal that no threat is present in this environment. The cortisol that has been sustaining the threat scan begins to step back, and the wave-paced breath meets the ocean's rhythm at the body level, the breath following the wave, the inhale arriving with the waves building, the exhale releasing with the wave's departure. The body finding, from the outside, the rhythm that the cortisol spike has disrupted from the inside. Each wave is a step back toward the sleep. Each breath is a step back toward the sleep. The deep sleep is still available. The ocean is taking you back. Before the deeper work of tonight, a specific acknowledgement of where you are right now. You are in the dark at 3 a.m. The room is the same room it was before the sleep. The surface is the same surface. The circumstances of your life are the same as they were when you lay down tonight. Nothing has changed in the world since the sleep ended. The thoughts that are present right now, the specific, weighted, certain-seeming quality of the 3 a.m. thoughts, are not new information about your life. They are the cortisol spike's interpretation of information you already had. The same information that was present last night and the night before, and that looks different at 3 a.m. than it does at 3 p.m. They do not require resolution tonight, not because they are unimportant, because the 3 a.m. mind is not equipped to resolve them. The cortisol-spiked nervous system has reduced access to the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that manages perspective, problem-solving, and the emotional regulation that would allow the concerns to be held proportionately. The 3 a.m. cortisol spike specifically impairs the very capacities that would allow the problems to be addressed. The problems are not solvable at 3 a.m. They are more solvable at 8 a.m. from the rested nervous system, with the cortisol at its natural morning level rather than its spiked middle-of-the-night level. The most productive thing available right now is the return to sleep, not avoidance, strategy. The rested morning will have more access to the capacities needed for the problems than the cortisol-spiked 3 a.m. will ever have. The ocean is providing the return. The wave-paced breath is resetting the cortisol spike. The deep sleep is still available. From here, we will move into the body, into the specific places where the cortisol spike has landed, and then into the wave-paced breath that is the most direct available tool for the return. The night is not over. The deep sleep is still ahead. The ocean is taking you back. Let's acknowledge what is actually happening in the body right now. The cortisol spike has produced specific physiological changes. The heart rate has increased from the sleep state level, not dramatically, by the small but attending to the chest and you can feel it degree of the cortisol-activated body. The resting heart rate of genuine deep sleep is slower than what is present right now. The muscles have become slightly more toned. The specific cortisol-produced muscle readiness of the body that has been activated, not the dramatic tension of the acutely stressed body, the subtle, below full awareness tone of the muscles that are no longer in the deep sleep release. The mind is running at a higher frequency than the sleep state requires. The thoughts are present and specific and feel important. They feel more important at 3 a.m. than they will feel at 8 a.m. This is the cortisol's amplification of the threat detection system, not the accurate assessment of the objective importance of the concerns. All of this is the cortisol spike at work, and all of it can be reversed. The cortisol spike is not permanent. It is a transient elevation. The wave-paced breath is already beginning to suppress it. Even in these first minutes of the session, the vagal activation that the ocean's rhythm and the slowing breath produce is sending the HPA axis the suppression signal. The heart rate will slow, the muscles will release, the mind will quiet, not all at once, wave by wave, each wave bringing the cortisol one step closer to the pre-spike level, each wave bringing the sleep one step closer to returning. There is something specific to do right now that is more useful than anything else. Let the body be heavy, not through effort, through permission. The body that was in the deep sleep an hour ago knows how to be heavy. The muscles that were in the sleep release state know what that state feels like. The nervous system that was in the deep sleep stages knows the weight and warmth of that state. The cortisol spike has temporarily disrupted the access to that state, but the state is not gone. It is still available. The sleep is not far away. It is the same night, the same body, the same capacity. The cortisol spike has raised the activation above the sleep threshold. The wave-paced breath is lowering it back below. Let the body begin to remember the sleep state, not by trying to sleep, by allowing the body to receive the heaviness that the cortisol spike has temporarily interrupted. The legs heavy, the arms heavy, the back given to the surface. The whole body receiving the support it was receiving before the spike pulled it from the sleep. The ocean is providing the rhythm. The return has begun. The ocean is doing something specific right now, something that is specific to the 3 a.m. context. The ocean has been here throughout the night, not metaphorically. The recording has been playing. The waves have been arriving and releasing through the sleep, through the waking, through these first minutes of the session. The ocean's rhythm has been constant through the disruption of the cortisol spike. This continuity is specific and useful for the 3 a.m. return. The 3 a.m. waking has a disorienting quality, the before and the after of the sleep. The person who was asleep and is now awake occupies a strange middle position, inside the night but outside the sleep, with the sleep on both sides, the sleep that ended and the sleep that is still ahead. The ocean has been continuous through all of this. It was present during the sleep. It was present when the spike woke you. It is present now. It will be present when the sleep returns. The ocean does not distinguish between the sleep phases and the waking phases. It simply continues. This continuity is one of the most specific things the ocean provides for the 3 a.m. return. The nervous system that is looking for the thread back to sleep. The specific attended to pathway between the waking state and the sleep state finds the ocean as the continuous thread. The ocean was there when you were asleep. If you return to the ocean, you return to the state in which you were last sleeping. Let the ocean be the thread now. The specific, continuous, was there when you were asleep quality of the ocean that was present during the deep sleep and is present now and will be present when the deep sleep returns. The ocean knows where the sleep is. It has been keeping the thread. Follow it. The inhale with the wave's arrival. The exhale with the wave's departure, the thread pulling gently toward the sleep state from which the cortisol spike pulled you. Give the weight of the body to the surface now, specifically and completely. The cortisol spike produces a body-level bracing. The muscles that were in the deep sleep release state have been partially re-engaged by the cortisol's activation signal, not dramatically, subtly. The specific, small. This is what cortisol does to the muscles quality of the body that has been pulled from the sleep state. The surface is the same surface it was when the sleep was present. The support beneath the body has not changed. The warmth of the room has not changed. The physical environment is identical to the environment in which the sleep was occurring. The only thing that has changed is the cortisol level. Let the body remember this. The cortisol is being reset by the ocean's rhythm and the wave-paced breath. As the reset advances, the muscles can receive the permission to return to the sleep release state. The bracing that the cortisol produced can release back into the surface, starting at the feet. The feet that were deeply released in the sleep, let them return to that state now. The weight of them settling into the surface, the specific sleep release heaviness of the feet that are not prepared for standing or walking, the legs, the muscles of the thighs and calves that had been in the sleep release state, let them return. The heaviness of the genuinely sleep-heavy legs, the hips, the lower back, the back that was given fully to the surface before the cortisol spike interrupted the giving. Return it now. The full weight of the back in the surface, the lower back finding its natural, supported sleep state position, the belly, the diaphragm that was moving in the full sleep state breath before the spike. Let it return to the full descent on the inhale, the belly rising with the wave, the belly softening with the wave's departure, the chest, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, each returning to the sleep state, each releasing the cortisol spike's subtle re-engagement, each becoming the version of itself that was present when the sleep was occurring an hour ago. The head, heavy in the pillow or surface, the weight of the skull returning to the support that was holding it before the spike, the whole body returning to the sleep state position, the ocean's rhythm accompanying the return, the cortisol retreating wave by wave. The 3 a.m. thoughts are present. This needs to be acknowledged rather than dismissed. The thoughts that are running right now, the specific concerns, the worries, the problems that feel so certain and so heavy at this hour, are real concerns that belong to your real life. They are not invented by the cortisol spike. What the cortisol spike does is amplify them. The same thoughts that will be present tomorrow morning, that were present yesterday morning, look different at 3 a.m. than they look at 8 a.m. The cortisol-spiked nervous system has reduced access to the perspective and the problem-solving and the emotional regulation that would allow the same concerns to be held more accurately. At 3 a.m., this problem is unsolvable, and the future is uncertain, and the worst version of this scenario is the likely one. At 8 a.m., rested, this problem has several possible approaches. The future contains both challenges and resources, and the worst version is one of several scenarios. Same thoughts, different cortisol level, different perspective. Here is what to do with the 3 a.m. thoughts right now. Notice them, briefly, without engaging. The specific, attending to the thought quality of the acknowledgement. Yes, that thought is there. Yes, that concern is present. Yes, the cortisol is amplifying it to feel larger than it will feel in the morning. And then give it to the ocean. The thought is real. The concern is real. The ocean can hold it for the remaining hours of the night. It will still be there in the morning. You will have more access to it in the morning, more perspective, more problem-solving capacity, more emotional regulation. At 3 a.m., the most helpful thing you can do for the concerns is to return to sleep. The rested morning will address them better than the cortisol-spiked 3 a.m. will. Give the thought to the ocean. Let the wave receive it and return to the breath. The inhale with the wave's arrival, the exhale with the wave's departure, the cortisol retreating, the sleep approaching. Let the awareness travel to the jaw and the face. The cortisol spike produces a specific quality in the face and the jaw. When the cortisol rises, whether in the daytime stress response or in the premature 3 a.m. rise, the jaw engages. The masseter muscles, which hold the jaw, receive the cortisol's activation signal and respond by increasing their tone. The jaw sets, the teeth come together or almost together. The face takes on the specific, subtle, "This is what cortisol looks like in the face" quality of the cortisol-activated body. In the sleep, this did not exist. The sleeping jaw is fully released. The masseter muscles in the deep sleep are at their most available resting state. The sleeping face is private, soft, completely absent of the engagement that the waking state and the cortisol activation require. The cortisol spike pulled the jaw from this state. Bring your awareness to the jaw now. Notice what you find. The specific 3 a.m. cortisol quality of the jaw that has been engaged by the spike. Not dramatically, subtly. The slight holding that the cortisol produced when it pulled you from the sleep. With the next wave-paced exhale, the exhale following the wave's departure, let the jaw release back toward the sleep state, the teeth parting slightly, the masseter muscles receiving the cortisol suppression signal that the wave-paced breath is providing, the jaw releasing by the honest 1 exhale degree that the returning breath produces, the tongue soft, the muscles around the eyes, which the cortisol spike engaged in its subtle activation of the face, softening, the forehead smoothing, the whole face returning to the private, engaged by nothing sleep state quality of the face that was present an hour ago. The cortisol spike made the face alert. The wave-paced breath is returning it to sleep, 1 exhale at a time. Let the awareness travel to the chest and the breath. The cortisol spike changes the breathing pattern. In the deep sleep, the breath has a specific quality, slower than the waking breath, more complete in the cycle, the belly participating fully, the rhythm regular and unhurried. This is the sleep breath, the parasympathetically maintained, slow, full, wave-like breath of the body that is genuinely asleep. The cortisol spike disrupts this. When the cortisol rises steeply, the breath responds. It quickens slightly, rises in the chest, becomes somewhat shallower, not dramatically, but differently from the sleep breath, the specific cortisol-produced respiratory pattern of the body that has been partially activated. You can feel this in the chest right now if you attend to it, the breath that is slightly different from how it was before the waking, slightly quicker, slightly higher, less like the ocean's rhythm. With the wave-paced breath, we are returning the respiratory pattern to the sleep state. The inhale following the wave's arrival, arriving at the pace of the wave, taking the time the wave takes. The exhale following the wave's departure, releasing at the pace of the wave's retreat, taking the full, long, trailing time of the wave's departure. This breathing pattern is the most direct available signal to the HPA axis that the cortisol spike was premature, that the morning has not arrived, that the activation level should return to the sleep state. Let the chest receive this with the next wave, the inhale arriving with the wave, slower than the cortisol breath has been, the belly expanding, the diaphragm descending, the breath traveling to the lower lungs where the sleep breath lives, and the exhale, long following the wave's departure, significantly longer than the inhale, the chest softening, the belly releasing, the HPA axis receiving the cortisol suppression signal. The sleep breath is returning. The cortisol is beginning to descend from the spiked level. The body is being guided back toward the sleep threshold. Let the awareness settle in the mind. This is the most specific part of the 3 a.m. body scan, because the 3 a.m. mind requires a particular approach. The mind that is awake at 3 a.m. has 2 qualities simultaneously. First, it is fully awake, more alert in some ways than the ordinary insomniac's mind at midnight. The cortisol spike produces a sharp, immediate, wide-awake quality of alertness that is different from the tired but can't sleep quality of the person who cannot initially fall asleep. Second, it is unreliable. The cortisol-activated mind at 3 a.m. has reduced access to the executive functions, the perspective, the proportionality, the problem-solving that would allow the concerns to be held accurately. The 3 a.m. mind is alert without being accurate. The alert but unreliable quality of the 3 a.m. mind is worth naming directly, because the 3 a.m. mind tends to trust its own assessments completely. The cortisol's amplification of the threat detection system produces a quality of certainty. The problems feel as bad as they look. The worst case feels as likely as it feels. The hopelessness feels as accurate as it presents itself. This certainty is the cortisol talking, not the truth. Here is what to do with the mind right now. Not engage with it, not argue with it, not try to solve the problems it is presenting. Simply watch it from a small, attending to the mind without following at distance. The thoughts are arriving, yes. The concerns are present, yes. The cortisol is amplifying them to their 3 a.m. size, yes. They will be smaller in the morning, not because the morning makes problems smaller by magic, because the cortisol will be at its natural morning level rather than its spiked middle of the night level, and the prefrontal access to perspective will be restored, and the same concerns will be held in their accurate proportion rather than the 3 a.m. amplification. For now, simply watch the thoughts arrive and release into the ocean, each thought arriving, each thought given to the wave receiving it and carrying it wherever waves carry things, the awareness returning to the breath, the inhale with the wave, the exhale with the wave's departure, the mind quieting, not by being stopped, by being given the cortisol suppression that the wave-paced breath is providing, one breath at a time. The 3 a.m. mind is unreliable. The ocean is reliable. Follow the ocean. Let the awareness travel now to the legs, the large muscles that carry the sleep state heaviness most directly. In the deep sleep, the legs are fully released. The quadriceps, the hamstrings, the calves, all of them in the specific, deep sleep state release that is qualitatively different from the ordinary daytime rest. The deep sleep leg is genuinely heavy, the kind of heavy that makes the legs feel difficult to move in the brief moments of partial waking that occur during normal sleep cycling. The lead-like, I am not available for standing quality of the leg that is in the deep sleep stages. The cortisol spike pulled the legs from this state, not into standing readiness, into the subtle, partially engaged quality of the leg that is no longer fully in the sleep release. The cortisol's activation signal touched the legs as it touched everything else, and the deep sleep heaviness became somewhat lighter, somewhat more available, somewhat more ready than the sleep state allows. Bring your awareness to the legs now. Notice the specific quality of the cortisol-touched leg that is different from the deep sleep leg, and with the next wave-paced breath, the exhale following the wave's departure, let the legs receive the cortisol suppression signal, the heaviness returning, not the performed heaviness of the person trying to feel relaxed, the specific, genuine, physiologically real heaviness of the legs that are responding to the descending cortisol by returning to the deep sleep release state. This heaviness is available. It was here an hour ago. The cortisol spike temporarily displaced it. As the cortisol descends from the spiked level, wave by wave, breath by breath, the heaviness is returning. Let the thighs become genuinely heavy, the calves settling, the feet done, the legs in the sleep state heaviness, the ocean accompanying the return. Now hold the full body in awareness at once, the face returning to the sleep state, the jaw soft, the muscles around the eyes relaxed, the face private and sleep quality, the chest, the sleep breath returning, the wave-paced respiratory cycle, replacing the cortisol-quickened breath, the HPA axis receiving the suppression signal with every complete wave-paced cycle, the mind watching the thoughts from the small distance rather than engaging with them, the 3 a.m. thoughts arriving and being given to the ocean, the cortisol-produced alertness beginning to soften as the wave-paced breath suppresses the spike, the legs, the deep sleep heaviness returning, the cortisol's partial re-engagement of the muscles releasing as the spike descends, the whole body, returning to the sleep state position it was in before the cortisol spike interrupted the sleep. This is the cortisol reset in progress, not complete, advancing. The spike is beginning to descend. The wave-paced breath is suppressing the HPA axis's premature morning rise. The nervous system is being guided back below the waking threshold. The deep sleep is still available. The night is not over. Take a slow, wave-paced breath. The inhale with the wave. The exhale with the wave's departure. The cortisol spike retreating. The sleep threshold approaching. The return is happening. I want to tell you something specific about the wave-paced breath and the cortisol suppression, because the person lying awake at 3 a.m. needs to know specifically what the breath is doing, not as something extra to think about, but as the accurate, this is what is happening reassurance that the return is genuinely in progress. The cortisol production is regulated by the HPA axis. The hypothalamus produces corticotropin-releasing hormone. The pituitary gland responds by producing adrenocorticotropic hormone. The adrenal glands respond by producing cortisol. This is the cascade that is running too steeply right now, the cascade that produced the 3 a.m. spike. The vagus nerve is the brake. The parasympathetic nervous system, engaged directly through the vagus nerve, sends suppression signals to the HPA axis. When the vagus nerve is active, the HPA axis receives continuous inhibitory signals. The cortisol production rate decreases. The spike begins to descend. The wave-paced breath activates the vagus nerve, specifically through the baroreceptors in the lungs and airways, which are most active at the end of the exhale, and through the respiratory sinus arrhythmia pathway, which produces a direct parasympathetic activation with each long, complete exhale. Each wave-paced breath cycle sends the suppression signal. Each complete exhale, the exhale that follows the wave's full departure, the long trailing all the way to the end exhale, activates the vagal brake on the HPA axis. Each activation is a direct, physiologically real step toward the pre-spike cortisol level. 5 complete wave-paced breath cycles produces a measurable reduction in HPA axis activity. 10 produces a more significant one. 20 produces the kind of sustained parasympathetic activation that can bring the cortisol spike meaningfully below the waking threshold. The deep sleep threshold is not far. The cortisol spike raised the activation level above the threshold. The wave-paced breath is lowering it back below. Each wave is one step closer. Follow the ocean. The inhale with the wave. The exhale with the wave's departure. The cortisol descending, the sleep threshold approaching. Let's breathe with the ocean now. The ocean has been here through the night. It knows the rhythm, it knows the pace, it knows the specific, wave-by-wave quality of the return to sleep. Follow it. Listen for the next wave building, the sound gathering, the wave approaching the shore. And let the inhale follow the arrival, not quickly, at the wave's pace. The wave takes time to build and arrive. Let the inhale take that time, the belly rising, the chest expanding, the air filling the lungs at the ocean's unhurried pace, and the wave's departure. The long trailing, the wave is pulling back now quality of the wave's recession. Let the exhale follow this, all the way to the very end of the wave's recession. The breath releasing as the wave releases. The belly softening as the water pulls back, the exhale traveling to the full length of the wave's departure, the cortisol suppression signal being sent, the pause, the shore quiet, the wave gone, The next wave not yet formed, the breath at the bottom, the lungs empty, the HPA axis receiving the most concentrated vagal suppression signal of the breath cycle, the cortisol retreating in this pause. Then the next wave building, the sound gathering, the wave approaching, the inhale following, continue. The inhale with each wave's arrival, the exhale with each wave's departure, the pause at the bottom, each cycle sending the cortisol suppression signal, each cycle bringing the activation level one step below where it was. Each cycle guiding the nervous system one step closer to the sleep threshold. Notice what is happening as the waves accumulate. The mind is quieter than it was at the beginning of the chapter. The 3 a.m. thoughts are still present, but they are arriving less urgently. The certainty of the catastrophizing is loosening slightly. The cortisol that was sustaining the amplification is beginning to descend. The body is heavier, the jaw is softer, the breath is more like the sleep breath. The return is advancing. Continue following the ocean. The cortisol spike is descending. This is real, measurable. The wave-paced breath has been directly suppressing the HPA axis with every complete cycle. The cortisol that was running too high, that crossed the waking threshold and pulled you from the sleep, is lower than it was at the beginning of the chapter. How do you know? The thoughts. The 3 a.m. thoughts that were running with the specific, heavy, certain-seeming quality of the cortisol-amplified awareness. Are they exactly the same now as they were at the beginning of the session? Attend to them honestly. They are likely somewhat quieter. The certainty may have loosened slightly. The heaviness may have reduced by a small degree. The same concerns are there, but perhaps slightly less amplified, slightly more like the concerns themselves, and slightly less like the cortisol's amplified version of the concerns. This is the cortisol descending. When the cortisol decreases from the spiked level, the threat amplification effect decreases with it. The same problems look marginally less catastrophic, not resolved, less amplified. The difference between the 3 a.m. version and the 8 a.m. version of the same concern is the cortisol level. As the cortisol descends from the spike, the thoughts move from the 3 a.m. version toward the morning version. The body is different too. The jaw softer than at the beginning. The breath more wave-like. The legs heavier. The sleep state quality of the body more present than the cortisol spike state quality. These are the signs of the cortisol reset in progress. Not complete, real, advancing. The sleep threshold is closer than it was, not far. The ocean will take you the rest of the way. Continue following the waves, the inhale with the arrival, the exhale with the departure, the cortisol continuing its descent, the sleep continuing its approach. The cortisol spike is at its most significantly suppressed available level for this stage of the session. The accumulated wave-paced breath cycles have been providing the HPA axis with the most sustained parasympathetic suppression signal available through the breathing alone. The cortisol is below the level it was when the waking occurred. The sleep threshold is very close. Here is what the return to sleep actually feels like. It does not feel like a decision to fall asleep. It does not feel like successfully performing the sleep. It feels like the awareness beginning to drift. The thoughts that have been arriving with a specific, certain 3 a.m. quality beginning to arrive less completely. The images between the thoughts becoming more available. The specific attending to the ocean without analyzing it quality of the awareness that belongs to the threshold. The awareness drifting from the thought to the wave, from the wave to the exhale, from the exhale to the pause, from the pause to somewhere that is not quite the wave or the exhale or any specific thing. The awareness in the specific, almost not tracking anything quality of the awareness that belongs to the approach of sleep. This is the threshold. You are close to it. The cortisol is below the waking level. The sleep state is the most available it has been since the spike woke you. You can return now to the following: the simple, ocean-accompanying, wave-paced breath, without any effort to sleep, simply following the waves. The inhale with the arrival, the exhale with the departure, the awareness drifting in the pause, The sleep will find its way in through the drifting, not through the trying, through the following. The ocean is deeper now, the same ocean that has been here all night, but with the cortisol descending and the wave-paced breath having done its work, the ocean is more fully the primary thing, more present, more the primary acoustic experience of the available moment. The 3 a.m. thoughts that were occupying the foreground of the awareness, the specific, weighted, certain-seeming thoughts that the cortisol spike produced, have moved to a different position, not absent, receded. The ocean is more in the foreground than the thoughts are now. This is the cortisol reset, visible in the quality of the awareness. When the cortisol is elevated, especially in the spike state, it directs the awareness toward the threat-related material, the concerns, the problems, the things that feel urgent and unresolved. The cortisol narrows the awareness toward the threat content. As the cortisol descends, the awareness broadens. The ocean can occupy more of the available attention when the cortisol is lower, not because the problems are resolved, because the cortisol's narrowing effect on the awareness has reduced. Let the ocean occupy the full available attention now, not the thoughts. The ocean, the waves arriving and releasing, the sound in every direction, the specific, consistent, 3 a.m. in the middle of the night quality of the ocean that has been here all along, through the sleep, through the waking, through the session, unchanged by the cortisol spike, unchanged by the thoughts, unchanged by anything the night has contained. The ocean is the same as it was when you were asleep. The ocean is the thread back to the sleep. Take a slow wave-paced breath, the inhale with the wave, the exhale with the departure, the awareness in the ocean, the cortisol below the waking threshold, the sleep available. The deep sleep is available right now. This is not encouragement. This is the physiological assessment. The cortisol has descended from the spike level. The wave-paced breath has been suppressing the HPA axis for enough cycles that the activation level has crossed below the waking threshold. The body is in the sleep state position, the jaw soft, the breath wave-like, the legs heavy, the face private, the muscles in the sleep release state. The conditions for the return to sleep are present. Not perfectly. There is still cortisol in the system, still the residue of the spike in the body's activation level, but below the threshold, below the level at which the sleep cannot be maintained. The deep sleep stages are available, not just the light sleep, the deep stages, the slow wave sleep. The most restorative stages of the sleep cycle are still ahead tonight. The cortisol spike occurred at the end of one sleep cycle and interrupted the beginning of the next. The sleep cycles ahead, if the return to sleep occurs in the next 30 to 60 minutes, will still contain the deep stages that the body has been needing. The night is not lost. The 3 a.m. waking has not cost the deep sleep. The deep sleep is ahead, and the cortisol that was preventing access to it has been suppressed enough that the access is now possible. The ocean is guiding the way back. The wave-paced breath is maintaining the suppression. The sleep is approaching from the other side of the next drifting awareness. Follow the ocean. There is a specific quality available right now that the cortisol spike was preventing. The quality of the night, not the frightening quality of the 3 a.m. waking. The specific dark, heavy, certain-seeming quality of the night that the cortisol spike produced. The other quality of the 3 a.m. night. The one that is available when the cortisol has descended and the threat amplification has stepped back. The specific, held, remarkably quiet quality of the 3 a.m. night. At 3 a.m., The world is more quiet than at almost any other hour. The traffic has stopped. The neighbors are asleep. The ordinary sounds of the waking world have receded. The night at 3 a.m., for the person who can be in it without the cortisol's amplification, has a quality of depth and stillness that most waking hours do not contain. The ocean at 3 a.m. has this quality: the waves arriving and releasing in the complete absence of the day's ordinary sounds. The rhythm of the waves as the most present thing in the completely quiet world. The specific 3 a.m. nothing but the ocean quality of the night at its most still. This quality is available now, not the frightening 3 a.m., the held, still, remarkably quiet 3 a.m. The 3 a.m. that the cortisol prevented you from being inside, because the cortisol was filling the available awareness with the amplified threats, and that the descending cortisol is making available. Let the held, still, 3 a.m. quality be present now, the remarkable quiet of the world at this hour, the ocean as the only sound, the specific, rare, this only happens at 3 a.m. quality of the night that is available to the person whose cortisol has descended. This is not the frightening 3 a.m. This is the held 3 a.m., the night that has always been here underneath the cortisol spike. Simply here. There is nothing left to do except follow the ocean back. The cortisol has been suppressed. The wave-paced breath has done its work. The body is in the sleep state position. The mind has quieted from the 3 a.m. amplification to something closer to the threshold quality. The return to sleep does not require effort. It requires the opposite of effort. The effort of the 3 a.m. waking, the trying to understand why you woke, the trying to solve the problems that the cortisol was amplifying, the trying to get back to sleep, is itself a form of activation that works against the return. The return happens through the following the ocean, following the wave, following the exhale all the way to the departure, following the pause at the bottom, into the drift. The drift is the threshold. In the drift, the awareness loose, the thoughts arriving and releasing like waves, the ocean present but not analytically attended to. The sleep can find its way back in. It does not need your help to do this. It needs your absence. Simply follow the ocean, the inhale with the wave, the exhale with the departure, the awareness drifting in the pause, and somewhere in the drifting, the sleep, the same sleep that was here before the cortisol spike, still available, waiting for the drift. The ocean and the body have arrived at the same quality now. The ocean continuing its rhythm, the same rhythm it has maintained through the entire night. The body returning to the sleep state position, the same position it was in before the cortisol spike interrupted the sleep. The cortisol is below the waking threshold. The conditions for the return to sleep are the most fully present they have been since the waking. Take a slow, wave-paced breath. The inhale with the wave, the exhale with the departure. Notice the warmth, the specific returning warmth of the circulation that the descending cortisol produces. When the cortisol spikes, the blood is redirected. The circulation pattern shifts in the direction of the activation. As the cortisol descends, the circulation returns. The hands warmer, the feet warmer, the interior of the body in the comfortable warmth of the body that is returning to the parasympathetic state. This warmth is the cortisol reset expressed as physical sensation. Notice the heaviness, the sleep state heaviness of the body that is returning to the sleep position, the legs that were engaged by the spike's activation, returning to the deep sleep release, the arms, the whole body settling back into the sleep state weight. The ocean continues, the cortisol continues descending, the sleep continues approaching. Take a moment to acknowledge what has changed, not to assess, simply to attend honestly to the difference between the 3 a.m. waking state that was present at the beginning of the session and the state that is present right now. The thoughts. At the beginning of the session, the 3 a.m. thoughts had the specific, heavy, certain seeming quality of the cortisol amplified awareness. The concerns felt as bad as they looked. The problems felt as unsolvable as they felt. The future felt as uncertain as the 3 a.m. mind was presenting it. The thoughts right now are different, not absent, quieter, less amplified. The specific, attending to the thoughts, honest assessment of whether they are exactly as heavy right now as they were at the beginning. They are not. They have the quality of concerns rather than the quality of certainties. The cortisol's amplifying effect has reduced. The body. At the beginning of the session, the body had the cortisol spike quality, the jaw somewhat engaged, the breath cortisol quickened, the legs not at full sleep state heaviness, the whole body in the subtle spike-produced distance from the deep sleep position. The body right now is different, closer to the sleep state position, the jaw softer, the breath more wave-like, the legs heavier, the whole body more returned to the sleep quality. The cortisol, the most important change, the one that the thoughts and the body are reflecting. The cortisol is lower than it was, below the level that woke you, below the waking threshold. The sleep is available. These changes are real. The return is possible. Let yourself rest in the full quality of where you are. It is 3 a.m. or near it. The world is in its deepest quiet. You are inside the ocean, the waves arriving and releasing in the deepest quiet of the night. The rhythm that has been present through the sleep and through the waking and through the session and will be present through the return and through the rest of the night. The cortisol is below the waking threshold. The sleep is available. The night is held. Let the awareness be very loose now, not attending to anything specifically, not tracking the thoughts or the breath or the cortisol or the approach of the sleep. Simply inside the ocean, inside the 3 a.m. quiet, inside the warm, heavy, almost sleeping body. The thoughts that arrive, let them arrive and let them go. They are the oceans now. The ocean is holding them. They do not require your engagement tonight. The breath, let it continue without your direction. It knows the wave-paced rhythm now. It will continue the cortisol suppression without your monitoring. The awareness, let it drift. The drift is the threshold. In the drift, the awareness loosening its grip on the specific, attending to the concerns quality of the 3 a.m. waking and finding the looser, less directed images in the spaces quality of the threshold. Let the drift happen. The ocean will be here through the drift. The ocean will be here through the return to sleep. The ocean will be here through every remaining cycle of the night. The deep sleep is ahead. Simply drift toward it. The 3 a.m. mind may have one more question. The 3 a.m. question is probably this: what if I can't get back to sleep? Here is the honest answer. The cortisol has descended from the spike level. The wave-paced breath has been suppressing the HPA axis. The body is in the sleep state position. The conditions are present. The return to sleep is available. Not guaranteed. Sleep is never guaranteed. And the 3 a.m. waking is a real phenomenon with variable resolution. But the return is significantly more likely from the current state, the cortisol below the waking threshold, the body in the sleep position, the awareness in the threshold quality, than it was at the beginning of the session. And even if the sleep does not return tonight, even in the less likely scenario where the cortisol maintains its pre-morning elevation through the remaining night, the wave-paced breath has been providing a genuine rest. The parasympathetic activation of the wave-paced breath is itself restorative. The body in the sleep state position with the parasympathetic system engaged is receiving something, not the full deep sleep, but something genuine, even if the conscious transition to sleep does not occur. The night is not a loss. The rest is occurring. The most likely scenario is the return to sleep. The cortisol is below the waking threshold. The deep sleep stages are still ahead. The ocean is providing the rhythm. The wave-paced breath is maintaining the suppression. The sleep is coming. Simply continue following the waves. The mind can release the what if now. The ocean has the night. I want to say something specific to the person who wakes at 3 a.m. Not just tonight, the person for whom the 3 a.m. waking is familiar. A pattern, the specific, I know this feeling quality of the person who is woken at this hour enough times to recognize the quality of it. The weight of the thoughts, the wide awake immediacy, the dark room at the wrong hour. This pattern is real. And it reflects something real about the state of the nervous system. The 3 a.m. cortisol spike is not random. It occurs in the nervous systems that have been running elevated cortisol through the preceding days and weeks. The baseline is elevated. The natural 3 a.m. rise tips too steeply over the threshold. The pattern is the nervous system communicating something it cannot communicate during the daytime hours. It is communicating that the baseline needs attention, that the accumulated stress of the ordinary days has elevated the cortisol baseline enough that the natural preparatory rise is no longer gentle, that the nervous system has been carrying more than it has been given sufficient conditions to process and recover from. This is important information, not frightening, important. The 3 a.m. waking is the nervous system asking, in the only language available at 3 a.m., for more of what it needs. More recovery time, more of the conditions that allow the cortisol baseline to return to its pre-accumulation level, more of the specific, deliberate. This is for the nervous system attention that the wave-paced breath and the ocean have been providing tonight. The 3 a.m. waking is not the worst thing. It is the nervous system being honest. And the session tonight, the wave-paced breath that has been suppressing the HPA axis, the ocean that has been providing the rhythm for the return. The specific, devoted, this is for the 3 a.m. person attention of every section, has been responding to the honest communication. The nervous system is being heard. Take a slow, wave-paced breath, the exhale following the wave's departure. Let the acknowledgement reach the nervous system that has been waking you at 3 a.m. with the only message it knows how to send. The message has been received. The response is the wave. Something is available at 3 a.m. that is not available at other hours. The person who has been returned to the resting state, who has followed the ocean through the cortisol reset and arrived at the threshold of the returning sleep, can access something at this hour that the daytime does not offer, the particular quality of the 3 a.m. night. 3 a.m. is the furthest point from both the previous day and the coming day. It is the deepest middle, the place where the world is most completely at rest. The traffic stopped, the screens dark, the ordinary sounds of the waking world absent. The specific, remarkable, happening at 3 a.m. because only at 3 a.m. quiet that belongs to no other hour. The person awake at 3 a.m. from the cortisol spike is inside the worst version of this quality. The person returned to the resting state, the cortisol below the threshold, the ocean present, the wave-paced breath maintaining the parasympathetic state, is inside the best version, the held, quiet, nothing required of anyone at this hour quality of the 3 a.m. night that is available underneath the cortisol spike. Let it be present now, the specific quality of the world at its most rested, the ocean the only sound, the body in its most sleep-adjacent available state, the thoughts at their quietest since the waking. This is the 3 a.m. that was waiting underneath the cortisol spike, the beautiful version of the same hour, the hour that belongs to no ordinary day, the ocean at its most quiet, the body at its most returned, the sleep at its most available. Simply be in this. I want to say something directly to you, the specific person lying in the dark at 3 a.m. right now, who woke tonight from the cortisol spike with the specific, heavy, certain-seeming quality of the 3 a.m. thoughts. The things the thoughts were telling you, they will look different in the morning. I want to say this directly and specifically because the 3 a.m. mind is so certain of its own assessments. The heaviness feels accurate. The hopelessness feels like honesty rather than cortisol. The worst-case scenarios feel like realism rather than amplification. The 3 a.m. mind believes itself completely. It is wrong about the severity, not about the existence of the concerns. Those are real. About the severity, the 3 a.m. assessment of how bad the situation is, how likely the worst case is, how available the solutions are. All of this is being processed through a cortisol spike that specifically and measurably reduces access to the perspective and the problem solving and the emotional regulation that would moderate the assessment. The morning will give you back the accuracy, not the certainty that everything is fine, the accurate, rested, prefrontally engaged assessment of the actual severity of the actual concerns, which is almost always significantly less severe than the 3 a.m. version. This is not reassurance. This is the neuroscience. The cortisol spike impairs prefrontal function. The impaired prefrontal function produces the 3 a.m. quality of the thoughts. The descending cortisol will restore the prefrontal function. The restored prefrontal function will produce the morning quality of the same thoughts. The morning is ahead. The wave-paced breath has been returning the nervous system to the state from which the morning's accuracy will be accessible. For now, the thoughts the ocean is holding are being held accurately. They are real concerns. They do not require 3 a.m. resolution. They will be more resolvable in the morning than they feel right now. Take a slow, wave-paced breath, the exhale following the wave's departure, the cortisol continuing its descent, the morning approaching. The things that feel terrible right now will feel less terrible then. This is not hope. This is biology. The sleep is approaching. The cortisol is below the waking threshold. The body is in the sleep state position. The mind is at its quietest since the waking. The awareness is in the loose, drifting threshold quality that belongs to the approach of sleep. The deep sleep stages are ahead. The slow wave sleep, the most restorative available, will occur in the remaining cycles of the night. The remaining sleep time, entered from the current state, will be more deeply restorative than the light, cortisol-disrupted sleep that often follows the 3 a.m. waking in the absence of the reset. The ocean will be here through the return, through every remaining cycle, through the deep sleep and the lighter cycles, and every cycle to the morning. The waves arriving and releasing, maintaining the rhythm that the wave-paced breath has been using for the reset, providing the continuous parasympathetic activation that will sustain the suppression through the remaining night. The morning will arrive when it arrives, not as the premature arrival that the cortisol spike was initiating. As the natural, organic, the night has completed arrival of the ordinary morning. When the cortisol rises again, as it will, as it should, as it is designed to, it will rise from a lower baseline after a more restorative remaining sleep, with the wave-paced breath's suppression having done its work. The morning will be different from what the 3 a.m. mind was anticipating. Lighter, more available, the thoughts at their accurate size, rather than their cortisol amplified size. Let yourself go now. Simply follow the next wave. The inhale with the arrival, the exhale with the departure, the awareness drifting in the pause, the sleep finding its way in through the drift, the ocean accompanying every cycle to the morning. Good night again, my friend. The cortisol has been reset. The deep sleep is ahead. The night is not over. Simply follow the ocean back. The session continues now, in the quietest, most threshold-adjacent way. The way the ocean continues at 3 a.m., patient, rhythmic, unchanged by the cortisol spike, or the waking, or the session, simply the same ocean it has always been. The words that follow will be the lightest words of the session, nearly sleep words, the words that arrive at the threshold, paced by the waves, each one a step closer to the return. If you are already asleep, exactly right, the deepest right thing, the cortisol reset worked, the wave-paced breath delivered the suppression, the threshold was crossed. The ocean is accompanying the sleep now. If you are still at the threshold, also right, the cortisol is below the waking level, the sleep is available. The next few words, the next few waves, the next few complete exhales, the sleep is very close. What follows now are the simplest available things, not thoughts to process, not concerns to address, simply the most gentle possible words, arriving at the most gentle possible pace, each one paced by the wave, each one more like the threshold than the waking. Take a slow, wave-paced breath, the exhale following the wave's departure all the way to its end. The first word arriving now with the next wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The cortisol is descending. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The sleep is returning. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The night is not over. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The deep sleep is still ahead. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The body is in the sleep position. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The jaw is soft. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The breath is wave-like. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The legs are heavy. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The thoughts are in the ocean. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is holding the concerns. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. They will look different in the morning. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The cortisol is below the waking threshold. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. I am safe in the dark. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The world is held at 3 a.m. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. Nothing requires resolution tonight. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The morning will address what the night cannot. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. I have permission to return to sleep. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The deep sleep is available. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. This moment is enough. Exhale with the wave. I am enough. Inhale with the wave. This moment is enough. Exhale with the wave. I am enough. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. And tonight the ocean is resetting the cortisol. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. The waking was the cortisol speaking. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave, not a real emergency. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. The thoughts were cortisol amplified. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. They will be smaller in the morning. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. The ocean has been holding the thread. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. The ocean knows where the sleep is. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. I am following the ocean back. Exhale with the wave. I am the one who woke at 3 a.m. Inhale with the wave. And now I am returning. Exhale with the wave. I am returning to the sleep. Inhale with the wave. The same sleep that was here before the waking. Exhale with the wave. Still available. Inhale with the wave. Still ahead. Exhale with the wave. The cortisol has been reset. Inhale with the wave. The wave-paced breath has done its work. Exhale with the wave. The deep sleep is ahead. Inhale with the wave. I am crossing the threshold now. Exhale with the wave. I am safe. Inhale with the wave. I am warm. Exhale with the wave. I am returning. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Exhale with the wave. The night is not over. Inhale with the wave. The deep sleep is ahead. Exhale with the wave. The morning will come. Inhale with the wave. The morning will find the concerns at their true size. Exhale with the wave until the morning, the ocean. Inhale with the wave until the morning, the sleep. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. This moment is enough. Exhale with the wave. I am enough. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The 3 a.m. is held. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. I am returning to sleep. Exhale with the wave. The cortisol is below the threshold. Inhale with the wave. The sleep is available. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. Simply follow the ocean back. Exhale with the wave. The ocean knows the way. Inhale with the wave. The ocean was there when you were asleep. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The ocean will be there when you return. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The breath is following the wave. Exhale with the wave. The body is returning to sleep. Inhale with the wave. The cortisol is descending. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The thoughts are in the ocean. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is holding them. Inhale with the wave until the morning. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The deep sleep is approaching. Exhale with the wave. The threshold is very close. Inhale with the wave. The drift is here. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. Let the drift happen. Exhale with the wave. Let the awareness loosen. Inhale with the wave. Let the ocean carry the rest. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. Through every remaining cycle. Exhale with the wave. Through every remaining hour. Inhale with the wave. To the morning. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. I am safe. Exhale with the wave. I am warm. Inhale with the wave. I am returning. Exhale with the wave. The sleep is here. Inhale with the wave. The sleep is here. Exhale with the wave. The sleep is here. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Exhale with the wave. The sleep is here. Inhale with the wave. Simply drift. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Exhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Inhale with the wave. The ocean is here. Exhale with the wave.